Hello all. In this video, I would like to discuss about how do we implement a multi-entity multi-field search in USD, aka custom search implementation in USD. Right. Before starting, I would like to give some declarations or noting points over here. And that's first one. I would like to share it's all about my experience on the USD custom search functionality. There can be or there may be a lot of other ways to implement the same kind of functionality. I have tried to use the configurations as much as possible, like how the Microsoft is saying all about USD. The greatness of USD lies in its configuration flexibility. You just need to configure your action calls, you just need to configure your hosting controls. That's it. USD will start work for you. That's what about USD, the greatness of the USD. So I would like to use the same kind of implementation with my multi-entity multi-field search. And just to simplify and reduce the video timing, I'm going to use some of the existing code which I just wrote a couple of minutes back, and believe me, it is not at all a standard code. You need to implement your own coding principles, your own coding standards. And just to just to showcase what is possible and what you can do, I just implemented only a couple of it, and I'm expecting that as a viewer you should have already some idea, some basic knowledge about USD and the components around USD. You know what I mean? Yeah, like hosted control. What is hosted control, and what is an action? What is an action call? What is Windows navigation rule? Like the basic information, it would be good if you have before looking into this video. Right. Coming back to what is the actual problem I'm talking about. So if you see the out-of-box search functionality, what you can see on my screen is what out-of-box search. So if you see the out-of-box search, you can't really search based upon multiple fields over there. Say for example, if you want to search all the customers whose first name starts with Jim but born in the year of 1960, no, that is not possible without a box search functionality. I hope you agree with me, and that's what I was really want to implement now, and that is implementing a custom search dialog where you can place all your fields, whatever you want to search on, like the first name, the last name, date of birth, city of birth, etc. etc. So that's what my whole intention in this video. So what is involved in doing all this? So these are like a high level steps on what we are going to do in the next couple of minutes. First, we need to create a toolbar button for the custom search, and that would help you in triggering the search action. That is where the user will click that button, which will pop up this custom search window, and create a hidden USD custom control, which is a mediator between your USD components and the custom WPF window. Basically, this custom control will trigger the WPF search window, and it would also opens the customer record which has been selected in that custom search window. And then we will be creating a window navigation rule. Basically, a window navigation rule will give you the flexibility to start a session to capture whatever the pop-ups that are coming from the current window or the given hosted control window, and it would trigger a create session event for you. So to capture the pop-up window by hidden USD custom control, that's what the purpose of this window navigation rule. And it would also start a session from this pop-up window. And as usual, the WPF search window, which you need to implement your custom UI. So it's UI to search for the customer. So as discussed in the video, first let me quickly create a new toolbar button. So this is my CRM online instance, and I have configured the CRM online with USD, and this is my USD, which has been pointed to the same online instance. So I'm going to create quickly a new toolbar button over here for you. Under the main toolbar panel, I'm going to create a new button. The name, so for example, custom search toolbar button. What's the button name I want to have is custom search. Well, I'm pretty sure you will be naming it as such only in your project. Save it. Right. For now, I cannot really create an action call for this button because for that I need to have a hosted control, and if I have to have a hosted control, I have to have the hosted control to be created first. So I would say at this moment the first step is done for us. We are left out is to call the action to call the action. So we'll come to this how we call the action a bit later. First, let's go ahead and create a hidden hidden USD control, which would be a mediator between the custom UI and the USD. So here in my Visual Studio, I have an empty solution over here for me. I'm just gonna create a new project of type USD custom hosted control. USD hosted controls is my project name. The project name itself, it says it's a custom. I would prefer the same thing. So here I'm going to place all my hosted controls that I'm going to create going forward in future maybe also. So this is what my project looks like, and I'm not really interested in this out of box USD control that would come with the project. Well, of course it's the same thing what you can use, but I really don't like the name of this one. So let me delete that. I'm going to create a new item, a new stick it in place, universal service custom hosted control, and my hosted control name over here is hidden search CRCH control. So as the name it suggests, it's really a hidden control for me. For that matter, I really don't bother about what should be my UI for this. And the whole and sole purpose of this hidden search control is to trigger the custom UI of the search. So how we were going to trigger it? Well, one of the methods that you would get when you create this hosted control is override do action. So this would be whenever you call a action on this hosted control, this method will trigger, and in this method we're going to override whatever the action that has been passed to this method. And if that means if args.action equals to, so let's say for example I'm going to pass an action call like trigger or trigger search. Doesn't matter, yeah, trigger search. Then do something. So this means on this hosted control, from anywhere, if we call trigger search, then this particular code will be executed. That's what we are trying to say over here. So what we're going to execute over here, we'll come to it a little bit in a little bit time. So I'm going to quickly create my custom UI for searching and the contacts, or for that matter accounts, or any custom thing, custom control. Yeah, so I'm going to use a WPF window called search window. Right, so here is where I need to do a very neat and cool UI for my users so that they will feel really good. And believe me, I'm very poor in creating the UI. I just have this small code. So I just created this UI for my users. So you are going to implement all other your controls, all other your search fields. So this is what my UI it looks like. And so what I'm going to do is on click of this button, so on click of this button, I need to do some CRM search using maybe fetch XML or some query expression or some link. I'll be searching for I will pass my first name, last name, date of birth, and I'll search for these customers, and then I'll return the results. So this is what the fetch XML that you need to really write for based upon your requirements. So I just don't want to mess all these things. I'm gonna create a new simple project, a class library project, where I'm going to search count. I would say it is a CRM data provider. That name looks good to me. Basically, this project's responsibility is to talk with CRM and return the data, whatever we're going to ask. So, create a new class file, CRM data provider class. This is what my implementation of the class. So, all I'm just doing is I have declared a method, a public method called getContacts, which acts with first name, last name, date of birth, and will execute a fetch XML query, and then we'll get the entity collection, and then we'll loop through the collection, and then we will populate a custom object of type contact, and then I'm going to return the list of these contacts. And my contact object is just full name, gender, email, phone, whatever the other attributes you want to really populate from the contact, and then the GUID of that contact. Make sense? Good. So I just need to resolve some of these references over here. Just a second, I must need to change my class library 4.5 to 4.5 because I'm facing some issues with 4.5.2. That's what I faced earlier. It's fine, and I'm going to add a reference to AIF services, yes, and then XRM SDK. I think that should be enough for us now. So this AIF service base is a special class that is available for you as part of Microsoft UII framework. So what the advantage of this class is, it exposes two properties of type CRM service client and organization service proxy. So basically these two are directly linked to your CRM connection. What I mean to say is whichever the CRM organization you are using in your USD, it will be linked to that organization. So if you have to access the organization proxy of this CRM, you can just use organization service proxy of AF service base. That's what the advantage of the AF service base. You don't need to specifically mention in some sort of configuration file like what is my organization, what is my server URL. No, you don't need to do that. You just need to implement AF service base. And because this component is totally resides inside your USD, so AF service base will give you what is the organization you are working on. That's what this AF service base is. And I need to implement add reference for xrm.tooling.connector as well. Yes. And then retrieve request, SDK messages, SDK query. It's all set. Let's gonna rebuild it again. Good. So my CRM data provider is ready for me. So I just need. So I have the CRM data provider now, which can accept a first name, last name, and date of birth, and will let me a list of contacts. So I'm gonna add a reference of this data provider in my hosted control class project, and that is through solutions, CRM references. Okay. Yes. Just make sure this guys, you should be running ideally in 4.5.2, and all your projects should be there in 4.5.2. So my data provider has been run executed. Yes, the whole solution has been built properly, built succeeded. You see, good. Just added a reference to my CRM data provider over here, and all I need to do now is unclick of this button, just call the search window. On the search window button click, I just need to call list of contacts filtered equal to CRM data provider dot. Right. So first let me add the usings. Using CRM data provider stuff contact equal to CRM data provider dot, come on, dot, oh sorry, contacts equal to new CRM data provider dot get contacts. The first name is first name dot text, last name dot text, and DOB dot text. So with this, I'll get my contacts filtered over here. I'm just gonna bind this contacts to the grid, that is contact grid dot item source equal to contacts filtered. That's it. And now when I double click on this grid, basically whenever I select a contact and just double click on this contact, I want to start the session. That's what the whole purpose of it. So, and I'd like to do it in a simple way for me now. Mouse double click is new mouse double click event, and if I double click on it, if basically the contact grid dot selected index is greater than or equal to 0, if we select any record, then yeah, so I need to pass contact selected contact. So selected contact equal to contact equal to contact grid dot selected item as contact. That's it. And then I just need to close this dot close as. Just show a message box that show. You know what? You have to select a contact. That's it. So we are done with this search window. So all I'm doing is I'm just updating my selected contact. What is the selected contact? And then I'm just closing it over here, closing that pop-up window basically. So if you go back our override do action, this is where we need to really trigger the search window. So what I mean over here is search window equal to new search window. Then you need to say it as window dot show dialog. Once after the dialog window has been closed, the code will come back to this point, and over here by this time I will have contact selected contact equal to window dot selected contact. Solve it with data provider. So now I know what is the contact that I have selected, and all I need to do over here is I just need to open this contact in a pop-up window. Just to make sure by any chance if selected contact is null, it's not equal to. So where data args equal to contact, sorry, logical name equal to contact, and in the next line id equal to selected contact dot id. So I'll come back to this line. What is the meaning of this line in the next few seconds. And all I need to do over here is I need to open fire request action. A fire request action of new event args, and my event args are target day start, application name, and action is open underscore crm underscore page, and the object data is data args. So what does it mean? What are we doing over here? All I'm doing over here is I'm just gonna fire a request action, fire an action on the same hosted application, that is the hidden search control. Each and every USD control will definitely have a default action called open underscore crm underscore page, which would help you in opening a CRM page, basically a CRM entity record. And for that action, you need to pass data, basically two properties, that is what is the logical name you are trying to open, logical name of the entity you are trying to open, and what is the ID of it. But the problem is you need to pass it in two different lines. The first parameter should be in the first line and second parameter in the second line, and so that is what I have done. So the first line will have data contact, and then a new line in the next line I'll be having what is the ID of this entity that I'm opening. Does it make sense now why we are using the data args like this? Good. So that's it. I'm ready with my hosted control over here. All I need to do is just pass the information and see how it is happening over there. So we are done with the second part as well. If you see my window, so we created a toolbar button. Good. We created a hidden USD custom control. Very good. And we open the custom record also in the search window. It's fine. All we need to do now is a window navigation rule. We need to create a new window navigation rule. And anyways, yeah, we have already done this search window also. Now I'm going to create a window navigation rule that would actually trigger the session. The invite service desk, if you go to window navigation rules, I'm going to create a new window navigation rule over here. So as always, name doesn't really matter for us, but a meaningful name would always help you. Custom search trigger session. Oh, that doesn't really matter to me. So this navigation rule. The root logic will be from the hidden control. Oh, hang on, I didn't create a hidden control over here itself, right? So first let me create a hidden control. I can go ahead from here, but for the sake of understanding purpose, I'm gonna start it again from the unified service desk itself. So that's fine. Hosted controls. I'm gonna create a new hidden hosted control. Hidden search control. That is of type USD hosted control. The application is a global one for me, and it is displayed in hidden panel. So hidden panel is one of the panels that is there in your UI. As the name says, it is hidden for you. User cannot really see anything that is there in the hidden control. Anything that is there in the anything that is there in the hidden panel. So if I place my hosted control or there, that will not be visible to anyone. Bear in mind, this is the USD hosted control which we created just a couple of seconds ago. This is what the hidden control what I'm talking about, and we're not really bothered about any UI over here on this. So I need to pass for this, I need to pass what is assembly URI and assembly type, and my assembly URI is nothing but this namespace. Assembly type is under this namespace. What is the type of the object you are looking for? It is a hidden search control. Oops. Save. Good. So I have my hidden search control, and if you see the default actions that it created, you will be having open CRM page. This is a default one, and this is what the action call we are firing. We are firing over here. Good. And one more thing is we have to create this new action as well for this hosted control, so that someone else can call this action and would start triggering this all process. So I'm gonna create a new action for this. That name is, so this is what you have to take here. The name is trigger search. That's it. I don't have to bother about any other parameters over here. So now your hidden hosted control will have this trigger search as well. And now we will go back to our window navigation rule, and we'll create the window navigation rule. Custom search start session. This is from hidden control. Yes, and the entity I'm trying to open is contact, and it's a pop-up, and the destination should be in a tab, and I want to start a session on this started, and I would like to route the pop-up to the contact tab and display the contact tab as well. So all I'm going to say over here is there is a hidden control. There is a control called hidden search control, which may open a contact record, and if that contact record has been popped up, then it should be moved into a tab, and we also want to start a session, and the tab that it should move on is on a contact tab. Contact is a hosted control for me again over here, so I want to move this tab into a contact tab. I want to display the contact tab as well. Save. That's it. Our window navigation tool is also ready. And remember, in step 1 we created this toolbar button. Now it's the toolbar's responsibility. Oops, I just clicked the wrong toolbar. It's the toolbar's responsibility to trigger, to initiate the actual trigger. So you remember I said we will be adding the action in the next couple of minutes. So this is where we are going to add this action. To add a new action call, what is this? Sorry, call the trigger in custom search. So I'm going to say call this trigger search action under this hosted control. That's it. We're all set. Let's restart our USD and we'll see. Before restarting the USD, just building this, and the main thing what you have to do is you have to copy your DLLs into your USD location. Wherever you have installed the USD, you have to copy it over there. So this is what the tricky part. Not really saying it is a tricky part. The thing is, so when you are distributing your USD to all your client machines, you need to see some or the other mechanism to transfer these DLLs, these custom libraries which you just built. You need to see some or the other mechanism to transfer these files also. I'm gonna see program files, USD, paste, continue. That's it. Let me start my USD. I hope that works now. Here you go. See, you got this new button, custom search. Click on custom search. That triggered your search window. I'm gonna place search for Jim, whose first name starts with J and ends with and last name starts with A. Well, yeah, I have implemented, not really starts with, rather I have implemented contains, and so the first name contains J and the last name contains A, that is Jim Glenn sample. You see the last name contains sample A. That's where this came. I'm just gonna double click on this. That should trigger my Jim Glenn session. Trigger the Jim Glenn session for you. There you go, the Jim Glenn session. It started a session of this Jim Glenn, and all your session based UI is already ready for you, what the call script is, and you want to create a case for Jim Glenn, go to create a case for Jim Glenn, and you want to get some nodes for this person, you do it, and all this is part of out-of-box functionality again for you. So if you want to do any customizations further on this, so you can simply go ahead and do your agent scripting customizations, etc. It will really work for you as it is. That's it, really. I hope you liked this video. I'm gonna place all this source code just for your reference on my blog post.